there's like a much more expectation of better for games than there are for movies.
Maybe the movie critics in us are more harsh than the video game critics in us,
Listen,
you know?
to an extent, but I don't know anybody who wanted 6 scary movies. You know what I mean? So
Welcome back to GAMERViCE, ladies and gentlemen. Your boy Hank here with Logan and Kevin.
Here.
Anyways, today we talk about sequels. And we got all kinds of sequels, right? We got video game sequels, we got movie sequels, we got book sequels. But we're gonna focus on two of those, and that's gonna be the video games and the movies. Okay. It seems to be this general consensus or this general feeling that video game sequels tend to be much better than movie sequels. Now, I don't know about Kevin, and I don't know about Logan here, but I have to agree for now until I start, letting this brew in my head. I'm gonna agree with this, but I want to see what these two have to say about it first. Okay.
Well, first of all, kudos to you, man. I didn't know where you were going when you started listing off the types of sequels. I'm like, what is he gonna? I'm like, I knew you were gonna say game sequels and movie sequels.
Yeah.
I'm like, what other sequels are there?
I was after books. I'm like, is there any more? I don't know.
Because I'm like, if he says TV shows, I think these are just seasons. I don't know.
That would have been a good one, but yeah.
No, that was great job with that. But nah, man, listen, like it's weird. It's a weird thing because it's like historically, usually, typically, right? Like video game sequels are almost always better than the original. Like Mass Effect 2 is better than Mass Effect 1, Uncharted 2 better than Uncharted 1. Like I feel like there's so Halo 2 better than Halo 1. The sequel is like almost always better. But with movies, I mean, not only is it usually not better, I feel like more times than not, the sequel kind of sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like a weird thing, and like I'm looking forward to, like, as we talk about this a little bit, if we could kind of like maybe find reasons why we feel that way, like as we're consuming that media.
Yeah, I'm trying. I have something in mind. I don't know what Kevin here is gonna say.
no, I'm just really trying to think about it because it's honestly the truth. I'm thinking about every movie and sequel that I can think of. I mean, it's not like they're not like rushing into my head or anything, but it's games for some reason they're allowed to be creative and it works. But if a movie strays too far from the original, it's like, what the hell were they doing?
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, you know what it is too, actually, you know what it is? Sometimes for some reason directors like to change up the characters, they'd like to change up the actors and actresses in the sequel. Like, what the hell were they doing? Like,
Yeah.
if Billy Bob is the main character in the first movie, he's got to be the main character, the main actor in the second movie. It doesn't make any sense you just switch it up just because. Like that's
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, I'm trying to think about it, and I guess when you think about it, I'm trying to think of the games right now in my head that do even have sequels. But like, you got to think, right? A game comes out, there's maybe not plans for a sequel. I feel like with movies, sometimes they're planned ahead or they sign on people to contract. Like, all right, you're gonna do the second one and the third one. We're gonna have like this plan kind of idea. So it's kind of like set, and you don't even know if the first one's gonna be good. But like sometimes you do get a good first one, but then the movies, I feel like, kind of either repeat themselves with the same plot points, and they don't really add to the story. Now with video games, I feel like you get a game comes out, and you're only gonna get a sequel if the first one was kind of good. And when the first one's good, though, and you know it's good because you're talking about video games and you're talking about mechanics and features in a game, all they do is, yo, everyone loved that shit. We're going to put it in the second one. We're going to add to the story. But then we're going to add features on top of what was already loved. Like, so it's almost like hard to mess up a game, right? Like if you're making a sequel, it's going to be like, yo, if they like the first one, give them the same stuff that they love. And then we have to add some features. Like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, add to the game, add layers to it. With a movie, I don't know if it's that simple to, like, you'd be like, they like this movie. You can't do the same movie and add layers because it's more, like, I don't know. It's like you're not actively engaging with the movie like you do with the video game. So I guess maybe I think that's kind of maybe. I don't know.
Nah, I think that is like the number one thing that I was gonna bring up and lean into. I feel like the biggest difference is just the media in general. Like one is very active and the other one's very passive. Like you're playing the video game.
Yeah.
Like you are an active participant in what's happening. And with video games, we want like more. Like, you know what I mean? If you make a game that's 10 hours and the next one's 12 hours, usually gamers are going to be happy. If you have features that you like, keep the core features there and then you build on it, you're going to be happy. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
you're actively playing it, you're actively a part of it, you're enjoying it. With a movie, you can't just add to it because a 2 hour movie can't become a 4 hour movie, right? So it's like you almost have to naturally take some stuff away, and you got to kind of hope the stuff that you're taking away isn't the stuff that people really liked, or like you also can't just go bigger. I feel like with a game, you can kind of go bigger. Whereas with a movie, if you go too big, it's like, oh, it's like now they're just too like look at I mean, maybe this isn't the best example. I was gonna say like Fast and the Furious just gets bigger, bigger, bigger. And I feel like for a little bit it was like kind of hurting the franchise,
Those
but
have
then
the
it
same
became
actors,
so
right?
ridiculous.
Those have
Yeah,
the
same
same
actor.
actors, right, Kevin?
I feel like it
They
became
didn't
so
change those.
ridiculous that we accepted how ridiculous it was, so that it became good again. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it's like you can't just be like more explosions, more action. Like
Yeah.
where a game you kind of can, you
Yeah.
know?
I,
Absolutely.
I think like Fast and Furious is an odd anomaly in movies
A
because
100%.
It
because
goes.
of what you just said. Most of the time, sequels have like less of a budget, and it shows. And
Now when
that
it's GTA 6.
no movies. I'm saying
Yeah, I get.
yeah, GTA 6 is ridiculous. What are we talking about? 2 billion. That's
You know,
last episode.
real quick before I forget, because I want you to keep going, Kevin. But something I just thought about. I feel like the reason why it works for Fast and Furious is because it's like the most video gameified movie franchise. Like that movie might as well be a video game. Like it's just
Yeah.
racing, explosions, and dumb action. That's a video game.
If there was any character in a movie that should be a character in a game, it's Vin Diesel, because that guy he just overplayed that damn character for too long.
He's
It's too much. It's too much.
oh man.
12.
And he
yeah,
doesn't
I
age.
mean, look at
He
we
doesn't age
have
in a movie.
you have
It's all about family.
Star Wars that clearly now the second one they're just like, yo, it's the first one but better. It builds on it. Zelda, same thing. Sequel came out. They build on like the reviews, kind of like the core thing you take out of the reviews is like they take what was in this one and they build on it. Like that's literally what it is. And I guess it's like us as gamers, like, yeah, we like that one. Like, don't fuck it up. So it's like, yeah, good. You didn't fuck it up. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
And with a video game, like you're usually playing it and you just want to have fun, right? Like of course you can get emotionally connected to the story and all that stuff. I'm not knocking that at all. But like if you're playing it and it's fun, that's cool. It can be the same conflict, just bigger, better, more action. It can be the same a similar story beats, but just in a new environment. I feel like with a movie, if it's like the same character going through the same exact problem, you feel like I already watched this. Like,
Yeah.
and because you already watched it and you're not actively a part of it, it's not fun and enjoyable. But with a game, having a controller in your hand and you actually have an agency over like what the character's doing, it just changes it. I feel like that's the only thing that I can think of why it makes so much sense that like game sequels are like they're almost routinely better. And with movie sequels, like when you hear a great movie's getting a sequel, like your first thoughts say, yeah, I hope it's as good as the first one. Not I hope it's better. You're always just like, I hope it's as good as the first one. Where I feel like when video game sequels come out, it's like, oh, this is gonna be like, I hope it's better. Like, or I can't like you're excited because you think it's going to be better.
Yeah.
There's like a much more expectation of better for games than there are for movies.
Maybe the movie critics in us are more harsh than the video game critics in
Listen,
us, you know?
to an extent, but I don't know anybody who wanted 6 scary movies. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? Like
Other than the Waynes.
yeah,
Or Final
Other than
Destination.
all 14 Wayne brothers. Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. Or like
Yeah, because like, see,
Transformers.
that's the thing with like, okay, see, so the Final Destination movie, and this is the problem. Like with a movie like that, why are you even making a sequel? It's the same part. Like it's not really a sequel. Final Destination 1, here's this, but now Final Destination 2, whole new cast, all new crazy ways for these people to die. Like but it's just the same story. Like it's not like you added to the story. Like you didn't
Right.
add nothing. And that's kind of what some TV series do, which is mind-boggling. That are really good, and then everyone expects the second season to be good. It's the same thing, but they kind of somehow got into the same situation, the main character, and it's the same plot, but with a different scenery around it. You know what I mean? And that's kind of why I think all these TV they try to milk it, and it's like, yo, I guess it was just a good one and done. Like, or continue the actual story from where it ended. Don't give us the same thing, fresh start, kind of the same plot. Like, I guess that's what it is.
I mean,
I guess
maybe
that's
the
why
people
we
let us
know.
in the comment section.
I guess that's why there's a higher budget in video games development than there is in movies. Oh man. Well, yeah. Like Logan said, man. What do you guys think? We actually need somebody to be combative. We were too nice about this right here. We all agreed. Like we needed.
Listen, video game sequels suck.
Yeah, we needed somebody
I
to
was lying
disagree
the whole time.
So if you're somebody that really feels the opposite out there, tell us.
Give me Halo 1 over Halo 2 any day of the week. And give me Too Fast, Too Furious over Fast and the Furious any day of the week.
And give me a Hangover 4 because I want to see them get drunk again.
Yeah.
You know?
They gotta, who are they gonna lose this time?
Yeah.
Probably the same guy.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, literally. I can't. The movies just do the same shit. That's fine. Oh, you have it there, ladies and gentlemen. GamerVice out.